Or if someone says, walk with me, when they want to show me to the bathroom, my table, or something like that. Well, it couldn't be more obvious that I can't. I get it. I probably do it myself in their shoes. Heck, I also say things like that in mine. So dealing with whatever kind of challenges most people don't and will never be able to understand doesn't give any of us the right to be a bully, to be aggressively demanding, to be divisive. The universe doesn't revolve around any of us. It revolves around all of us, right? I decided to add an intro to this video because it may come across as kind of random, but it's not. I recorded and published it almost 2 years ago in what seemed to be the midst of all kinds of activism when it comes to certain minorities and inclusion. But because I have been experiencing all kinds of stuff with content I have put out not being allowed, without being informed of what I'd done wrong, and also no matter how truthful and even unifying it was, well, I also didn't have the kind of audience, by far, still don't, to reach anyone at all if I wouldn't be more careful with the terms I use. It sucks and is absolutely ridiculous if you ask me, but hey. Here we are. It's the times we've been living in for way too long already, and maybe a lot longer than most realize. And the past several years, it's just become more obvious to a growing number of people or something. In any case, that's why the video I'm sharing today may come across as just a random message about me in a minority group, but so it's not. It was my response to what I was observing with other minorities and heavy activism around it, while the group I'm in, that I think is pretty safe to say is the most in need, like literally, of effort, especially when it comes to bathrooms, which was kind of the topic of the day almost, and was not highlighted in any way. And I even experienced things becoming harder to find, like accessible toilets. And I mean some even completely removed and replaced by a regular one. Yeah, make that make sense, right? And those are already way too hard to find. This was shocking and alarming to me, especially at the height of what was already a heavy inclusion upsurge for quite some time. Hence my recording of that video, the one you're about to see, if you stick around for it, that is. Oh, hey. As a minority who is automatically excluded from 99% of all of nature, including the most beautiful places in the world, 90+% of buildings like houses, cafes, restaurants, hotels, museums, restrooms, vehicles and transportation options, and the ones that are possible require a lot more planning, taking arrangements, figuring out beforehand stops that are accessible, discover if or not the elevator works, which is not always the case at all, help from others, and mostly more time than you think, vacation destinations, activities, being understood, because most people aren't able to relate at all to what even the simplest of days look like, much less everything else that comes with it. So I understand the wish for the world to be more inclusive. However, although a lot can be improved, and I welcome every solution or adjustment to make something possible for me and others that previously was not, of course, I don't expect the world to serve my every need and change everything for the very small demographic I'm in, or feel offended or upset by the image of a standing or walking person on the sticker next to the button every time I'm at a traffic light or in the light of the traffic light itself. Now hold on, what? Unacceptable. All pedestrian traffic lights shall be cancelled. Or if someone says, walk with me, when they want to show me to the bathroom, my table, or something like that. Well, it couldn't be more obvious that I can't. I get it. I probably do it myself in their shoes. Heck, I also say things like that in mine. Now, if you like what I'm doing here, you may want to put up a thumb, drop a comment, subscribe, any of which, all of them, whatever you feel like, if any. It would greatly help my channel and that would make me really happy. No, it would just help reach more people and it really helps out. So, thanks. Being reasonable goes a long way. And in fact, I'm positive it's what has allowed me to receive the kind of unexpected help and kindness, even in quite tricky situations, and fun and heartwarming conversations with the most wonderful people of all walks of life, I would never have been offered if I'd be mad at everyone for how challenging literally everything is for me. And trust me, it's a lot harder than you can imagine for several reasons. Or to be mad that things are not possible at all, and for others to be some kind of majority that I will never be or feel part of, for which they are to blame as much as I am for being bound to my electric wheelchair. And I forgot to mention, also, no matter how deeply disappointing, shitty, and incredibly hurtful I've been treated most of my life by too many people, and not even that much by random strangers, mostly those who took an oath and should have helped me, and even protect me from harm, not causing more of it, or were the closest to me, including family, and the ones you'd expect to be the most supportive and in ways that make at least some sense. From not very loving and a lack of compassion and support at best, to continued dishonesty, being ignored, disrespected, or even ridiculed, gaslit over and over again, even passively blamed, as well as far into adulthood, being treated like a child who doesn't have to know about things that affect everything in my life, and I should be the first and only one to know about or have a say in. Betrayed in very painful ways by several of the ones I should have been able to trust with everything, including my life, with far-reaching consequences in all areas, and all of that over things that were never my fault and hard enough to go through as it is. I needed to add that for context and because I know how I come across as someone who doesn't seem to have a lot of cares in the world, if any, except for my obvious part with the wheelchair and all. But that's just the kind of person I am, and despite of what I just mentioned. Because you wouldn't believe how I've been approached from basically all sides for decades and how devastating that has been in too many ways. If anyone has more than enough reason to be mad at life and the world with a general approach from a place of feeling upset, offended, and angry, I am definitely one of them, but I don't. So, dealing with whatever kind of challenges most people don't and will never be able to understand doesn't give any of us the right to be a bully, to be aggressively demanding, to be divisive. Being taken seriously, treated respectfully, and in a way that makes sense, and we would treat any other human being, yes, absolutely. And whenever there's a need to be assertive, and sometimes there is, we should be. But I think we can also be kind and more compassionate to where others are coming from. I've noticed most people are very curious and compassionate by nature, wanting to be inclusive and not offend anyone. But it's impossible, and I think simply not fair, to expect everyone, especially strangers, to know about every situation someone could be in or challenges any of us may be facing every day, much less respond to it in the way we may need or want, while this already differs from one person to the next within the exact same category, making this even more impossible. And although it may be of a very different nature and to a very different degree, everyone is also dealing with their own shit, trying to get through their day and life as best they can. The universe doesn't revolve around any of us. It revolves around all of us, right? And for it to be in balance and to do that most effectively, I think it's helpful to meet each other in the middle of every interaction as much as possible. To respect another person's side and perspective, and unless they are, never make someone else responsible for our needs or impose our views or choices on them, just as much as we don't want another to impose theirs on us, right? Let's be kind to ourselves and each other. Take care. Bye.